Bulavinaka, and welcome to another edition of Straight Talk with Vijay Narayan. And today we are speaking to the Acting Commissioner of Police, Rusiate Tudravu. Commissioner Tudravu, just in relation to what is going on, definitely with the COVID-19 outbreak and the cases continuing to rise on a daily basis, with the police, what are some of the operational plans on the ground at the moment that you have to ensure that the guidelines that are clearly spelled out in the regulations are fully followed?
Vijay, good morning to you, and on behalf of the Fiji Police Force, I would like to extend our deep appreciation on the initiative to have me online with this interview in your program. I take it seriously as a part of our awareness program, and we need to be coming up every now and then to the media in order for us to relay the message that we would like to send. And this is one of the platform, and I would like to thank you for that. Given the current situations that we are having at this point in time, I would like to state that the organization has posed itself well since it started in the March last year. We have been on 24 hours operations, as you know, that after we scaled down in terms of the health monitoring side, the police officers and the security officers continue as we guard the immigration centers, the traveling from inbound flights, and also the curfew that were in place since last year up until now. So the planning and the posturing of manpower continues from that. For us in the organization, we are like divided into three. One category looks after the routine operations, the normal operations that we do, the normal routine that we do at the police station, attending reports, attending to calls, attending to the complainants that are coming in. Another category, they look after the COVID operations, like a task force that is dedicated on all tasking that is given to us by the Ministry of Health in terms of the COVID task force team. And there's another category of our teams that are on our reserves, a standby team. This is at the various divisions and also up here at headquarters. Our major role in this whole operation is the enforcement part, the enforcement of legislation, legal notice that is issued through the Ministry of Health by the Minister or the Permanent Secretary, which is guided by the Public Health Act. So our part is to enforce all those legislation and also the support the Ministry of Health in other tasking that they give us in our effort to work with other government agencies to support the strategic direction that is given by the government. That is in brief our support at this point in time.
Commissioner, just in relation to, of course, as you've said, that the operation has been ongoing from last year, and we've had many guidelines to be followed, including the curfew, where you've had to provide 24/7 security, additional security on top of everything else that you're doing. How many officers are in operation, and what kind of strain has it put on the resources, with especially people not complying with the guidelines?
Yeah, in the task force team, it's almost 1,200 plus that are dedicated. They are dedicated to the COVID-19 task force. We have about 2,000 plus because we have now a strength of almost 4,000 police officers. So having said that, the task evolves every now and then. It's not only on checkpoints. We are also assisting in other areas like the containment, the guarding of the containment areas. We are also assisting in the food ration supplies. We are also assisting in other areas in which every now and then, whilst the task force committee meets and there's other demand that is given to the organization, this is where all of our manpower are being channeled to. The challenge for us at this point in time is the consistency. Consistency and the welfare of our men. That is the issue at hand, which is a challenge for leadership. You know that we are human beings. We have limitations. The challenge is try to keep on the momentum of our presence. That is the message that normally is given down to the men on the ground. And you'll see that I normally, with other senior officers, go down to visit the men and talk to them every now and then. My message to them is we cannot afford to get our guards down. We need to be up with the momentum and the posture and the professionalism every now and then. Given that we are like, as you know, we are in the high risk category, and the virus will definitely be in contact with the police officer. So the internal mechanism of trying for us to have ourselves look after well in terms of the COVID protocols followed well by the members of the organization. We have other internal strategies that are in place so that whilst we go out, we also have our police officers checked in well within, so that they can produce what is required out of them. So those are the challenges. It's just and at times complacency comes into place. If you know that it's a prolonged operation. Sometimes when we are used to everything that is coming, we are complacent about things. So these are all things that are challenging our presence on the ground. But so far, so good. So far, so good. We also have in place mechanism, our internal disciplinary mechanism, just to hold up people accountable if they go outside the lane. So these are everything that is going on as we continue to push our men in the front line, Vijay.
Now, in relation to those, as you said, complacency kicking in, and as you said, it's just human nature. You have been on the ground. Even I saw that you went and celebrated police officers' birthdays with them at night to ensure that they get motivated. What are some of those motivating factors that you're using to ensure that the complacency is at its lowest level?
Raka, for us operations, you just have your meals well. You fully understand what is the task that is given to you, the welfare of individual and also the family is well. The police officers can go extra mile to do things. And the leadership presence to the front line every now and then, just to tell them that this is not normal times. This is the only time that is required out of all of us to spend extra hours, not spending our time with the family, limited time with the family. It's almost every now and then we are on the job sites. So the issue here is that we have there's a total overall changes in terms of the condition of our work. And I thank the government for that, because you know, during my young days in the Fiji Police Force, we are not given anything. You are tasked, you go, you are not given allowance, you are not given food. That is there at that time. But up until now, there's a lot of changes. We have the salary upgrade that we have. We have the subsistence that has been given to our personnel that are deployed. We have refreshment. If now our police officers have 3 meals a day, we have the support in terms of from our corporate service, and we also have the support of the public at large. There is a lot of refreshment that are out there. with the men. So you don't have to worry about what their food like that. And we provide them with PPs. We provide them, even though not all, but we are trying our best to see that they are safe. That they are safe. Things that we can buy and then we provide for them when they are in the front line. We visit them every now and then. We talk to them. There's a lot of incentive, like we allow them to celebrate their birthdays like that at the job site. We encourage the NCOs and non-commissioned officers that are there, their officers, at least buy a small cake and then celebrate at the, because they cannot go back to their homes and their village. Sometimes there's organized special treatment for that. As you reach, as most of these people are hitting 21, so 21 is like a special birthday for them. And given the age group, it is really a challenge. We have an age group of workers from 18 to 30. So these are the very people that are there in the front line. So the more you talk to them, the more you listen to what they have, their grievances, and then we try to solve things. We have our Skype briefing every now and then with our divisional commanders. They bring in their challenge, we try and solve it, and then we take it forward. We know that the tasking at hand is demands a lot from the police officers. But these are some of the initiatives that they take a day off. We try to revise our deployment hours. We normally work at 8 hours. Sometimes they work at 12 hours. For need a rise, they go 24. But we try our best to have them on shift 8 hours, and then limited, like 2 hours day shift, 2 hours night, and then they go 2 days rest. 2 days day shift, 2 days night, 2 days rest. So that arena, the recuperation and rest cycle continues. And as I've stated, sick leave will always come. People will also want to just go and enjoy themselves. But these are the nature of human beings that we have. But we need to just to talk to them. And there's also counseling. Our psychologist is moving around, trying to counsel. We have a counsel session every now and then with our police officers, just to know, actually know what is the status of individual police officers as we continue to move with our operations.
I'll ask you a question in relation to what has hurt you the most as the acting commissioner, some of the factors that has affected your men and women on the ground?
Well, for me, the way I look at it, this sort of job is like a thankless job. Very few they look at it. As much as I acknowledge the contribution and the positive accolades that has been given by the members of the public, but sometimes we are under scrutiny and we are labeled in a way that we don't deserve, given the hard work that we are giving in. Given that we have gone out of some of our own ways, out of the jurisdictions that we are covered by law in order to assist members of the public. Sometimes we are not given those kind of recognition by some people. I'm not saying that the whole of the community. There's a lot that have been recognized, but what hurts me is that when those type of things come, negative comments that are being labeled, even though it's part and parcel. To me, I've grown a thick skin in the years. And these are some of the things that is part of me. You talk about negative things about my hair up until to the toe. It's just like a win to me at this point in time. But to the organization, looking at an organization for the last 38 years, I've been the organization. Sometimes we are unfairly ridiculed by the people, not understanding the situations that we are in, not taking the full picture or the full story, and then they come in and just label something against our police officers, which is sometimes it affect me as a leader. But these are the challenges. I treat these as challenges. I know that the government is supporting us well at this point in time in regards to our way forward. I think those are the only things that I see, because sometimes people thought that investigation is very easy. They thought that we can just pick somebody, we process them and take them to court. It's just like picking up from a plantation and then selling things. It's not that easy, this kind of situation. There are high-profile cases that are going on now, and you see a lot of comments and people like running down the leadership of the organization in trying to, just because of their personal thinking about things that are happening. They don't totally understand what is going on. It is a hot seat, Vijay, when you sit in this seat, because there is a lot of things to consider. Consider the breaches of the laws that are there. Consider about the general the operations, the security of the organization of the whole nation. And when you make a decision, you can prolong something, but those are some of the things that I normally take me down, and I normally wonder what is in the mind of some people. It's like they in their 24 hours, they're just looking at the negative things of things. They do not appreciate the fair amount of the positive things that has been done by the organization.
In relation to, of course, the other issue is that when you have slip-ups within the force, even from last year into this year, even if officers are involved in curfew breaches or other breaches, you have taken a tough stance, even charging the members of the discipline forces. At times, as you've said, that majority of your force, men and women, are doing the right thing, and just a few can affect that reputation. But that's how do you look at that?
Yeah, I'm transparent in everything that I'm doing, sitting as the acting commissioner. I'm transparent. Everything is on investigation. Any breach, we make internal investigation. If there's a criminal breach, our CID take over the investigation. I normally can't come out and say that if any of our police officers breach any laws that are there, they'll be taken to task. That is something that I'm wondering. As much as we would like to be transparent on the things that we do, people are still saying that other things, other comments that comes up on the things that we do. Disciplinary measures is in place. Those that breach curfew are now on, they know that they'll be interdicted, and then they'll be investigated. They'll be taken to court and then come back. Our internal process is there. So everything that is done, the disciplinary issues, all those are investigated. Nothing is hidden under the carpet, as they normally say. And everything that is come to our radar, reported, officially reported, we normally investigate, and we normally come out if there's any national cases that needs me to clarify to the general public affecting our police officers. We normally do that. So I don't see anything that we are hiding. I can only maintain here and reassure the members of the public that any breach by any officers, it is investigated, normal. If I breach anything personally myself as the acting commissioner, I am taken to task. So nobody is above the law within the organization. We are all under scrutinized, and everything is done. But remember, everybody is innocent unless proven guilty in a court of law. So people are like jumping the gun. They want to know what is the result of all these things. Remember, investigation is a process. It starts from a complaint and the verification of all the facts that is there, evidence that has to be induced, and then it's presented in court. So it is a process. Sometimes it takes long, sometimes it's shorter. Sometimes it depends on the nature of things. If there's a public outcry, we try to fasten up so that we get the answer back to the members of the public. So these are some of the things. There is a challenge, but I would like to reiterate here that we are transparent in the things that we do.
The repeated breaches of COVID-19 guidelines. Of course, in the current outbreak, we have reached more than 1,000 cases now, and the numbers continue to grow. And the Permanent Secretary for Health says there's no indication at the moment that the numbers will subside anytime soon. Depending on vaccination, etc. I noticed that your officers are also at the vaccination sites helping health workers, and I received some feedback in relation to how the officers have come forward to ensure that the elderly and the disabled are quickly taken and vaccinated. Positive feedback about the officers taking it upon themselves as well. Not that it's just a health operation of vaccination, but is an operation as a whole. If you can talk about some of the steps you've taken in taking that service right down to the people.
Yeah, we are part of the team that provide that like a safety to our nurses, our health workers with the military. You know that the customer service was something that was really a challenge in the organization. People are talking about the way that we answer phone, the way that we approach people. We had a training in the initial last month, whole organization. We go through a package of training in terms of customer service. That is also one area we have been emphasizing to our members of the public, because the people, they look at the police officer, they see that they are to be trusted. They see the uniform, they feel safe. So the way that we talk to the members of the public, the way that we go beyond things that we normally do in order to assist. These are some of the areas that we are targeting, looking at the most vulnerable people within the community and try to assist them. You know that we are, because the boots of police officers are almost everywhere. So the impact of that, the positive approach by a police officer, is like a sort of relieving to us when we see those kind of remarks that are coming in. And our police officers, not only in this COVID-19, during natural disaster, they go beyond risking their life in saving people, those that are there in the flooded areas. So these are some of the things that we do, which is normally not really part of the tasking given to them. It is their initiative on the ground, which is this. It's like a human nature of somebody. Yeah, we are trying our best to do that and trying to get it. Sometimes there's a long queue, and you see women that they are sitting down because they cannot stand within the line as well. So these are the areas that they come in. This try and talk it out and then get them to be served first. At our checkpoints, you'll see that they are working hard there, even lifting and assisting our villagers with their cash crops and all these things. Even our soldiers are playing a very pivotal role also at the border in regards to them. So we try to go out and try and assist the members of the public, because we know that this is not a normal time. The normal routine is disturbed. If you go to the border at Sawani, there's a lot of things that are happening there. But our police officers try their best. They are there at 4 a.m. Once the lockdown is lifted, the curfew, they are already positioning themselves there. Without any other people there, they are standing there. They're waiting for the villagers to come because of the timings, the timings of when they come down. So 4, 5, 6, they are there in numbers just to assist them and get things rolling. Because the people, they expect more. Sometimes they don't take to account the things that are happening, protocols that need to be observed. there's a system that needs to be. They want us to come and get their things done and then they go back. So this is where initiative of a police officer that is there in the front line comes in. How they approach, how they talk, how they relay the message to them for them to understand. Because a disturbed mind cannot absorb everything. So you need to really work around and find ways in order to influence the people that are demanding for the service. There's a lot of things that is happening within our country, within the borders. There's a lot of things. And these are some of the things that is known, not known to the people that are criticizing the role of the organization, that we go beyond that. Even it is time to knock off, they continue. When they see that these people are still there, they will continue. They will see that everything is cleared, and then they go to their various home. And if they go to their home, they are being called for another standby, they come back. So this is the nature of the things that we are doing, and we are trying our best. It is a whole government approach, and we are just playing our part to the total organization, whole government organization approach that we are doing.
Acting Commissioner, your officers definitely, from the feedback you're getting, are they stressed? Are they tired with the repeated breaches, like, for example, groups still wanting to go and drink grog and alcohol and take part in super spreader events that is so dangerous at the moment?
To be frank, not only the police officers are stressed, it's also stress from the acting commissioner on the things that we do. Sometimes I normally say, I don't know what language I have to speak into to relay the message. Sometimes I normally say that. I cannot say what else. How can I interpret things so that people can adhere to the advisory? We are in a situation, it's a matter of life and death if you are a carrier of the virus. And the very simple thing that we need to do is just protect yourself. In protecting yourself, you are protecting others. Nobody will die if he does not drink grog. Nobody will die if he does not take liquor. It's better for us to just to persevere in a short time, rather continue with a general lockdown or national lockdown in a long period of time. People cannot understand that. We can conquer this, we can go through, we can contain this virus if we work together, if we maintain and adhere to the advisory that is given. I know that it's very hard because like we tend to socialize more. It is very hard to really talk to individuals. We have noted, we are doing analysis here at during our investigation on the number of people that have been preaching every now and then. Sorry to say, because some of the youths that are coming in now, they are coming from broken down families. It seems that they go, they commit, and then they come back. But that is not really an answer to that or an excuse. But generally, to the members of the public, I'm just again urging that we look at the bigger picture, we look at the intention of the government, and then we follow the advisory that is given. And on the other side, the category of people that are always targeting government effort, that are always saying that everything that we are doing is wrong. So that is the other side of it. But for us, my advice, and sometimes I really don't know what to say further on some of the people that you arresting them every now and then. And if you see the social gathering and the curfew breaches are the two main arrests, the figures that coming out in our 24 hours reporting to be top of all the arrests that we are making. And from social gathering and curfew, they breach curfew because they are drunk and they started to move. I don't know where they want to move to because the nightclub is not open and everybody is under curfew. And social gathering is a mixture and then sitting down, drinking cover. So this is the Ministry of Health have been advising that we are trying to limit social gathering. You see that the funeral now is only 10. These are some of the norms that we need to know is not the norm at this point in time. People have to understand. People have to change that attitude, that type of thinking, that they need to know that we are not in normal times. There are new norms, protocol that you need to take it on and move forward. You need to get out from all the things that is always the practice during normal times. That is something that we really need to quickly learn here in Fiji. We really need to learn what is the new norm that we have to adapt to. If we do that, and then the heart of humbleness in trying to adhere to the directives, we are okay. We should be getting out of this COVID-19 situation because the stand now is that we try to quickly fasten the vaccination. Fasten the vaccination, the first round and the second round to pass the viral, the positive rate. So that is the crux here. So in order for us to do that, we need to encourage people to do the right thing. Right thing. Go to the vaccination center, get vaccinated. The thing is that people are trying to be scientists again in the things that they do. But I don't want to say much on that. That is their personal view. But I really can't say much, Vijay. There's a lot of scientists here in Fiji.
The containment zone issue. A lot of people we see, it's almost laughable that they're trying to hide and go through shortcuts, go through cane plantations, go through creeks to breach borders. You want to talk about that with our listeners?
Yeah, it's really funny at times when we see people swimming across Moturiki to Obulawe just to go and see your loved ones. So this is some of the things that that I'm saying is it is a personal thing. You need to really sink in the idea, or you sink in to yourself, and then you tell yourself that this is something that I need to be mindful of. I have to change. People are taking shortcuts. People are going by boats. You see that we are flying drones in the shortcut. We are trying to follow our police officers on beat. They also move, trying to cut off shortcuts in the area. We have our police boat going up the streams of Rewa and also on the coastal. But we cannot be everywhere at all times, Vijay. It comes with the responsibility of individual. If you know that it's wrong, just don't do it. We cannot continue arresting people. Sometimes I say to myself, are we really that bad that we keep on arresting? People can not just make a decision by themselves to be law-abiding citizens. These are some of the things that normally come up into my mind when all these things are happening. And when you arrest people, then when you ask them, what's the reason of them trying to bypass containment area? Focus on themselves. It is to satisfy them, nothing else. There's no emergency, there's nothing there to genuine reason for them to do those kind of things. It's just owing to themselves. So that is why I'm saying we really need to inculcate that that change of attitude well, so that fast, so that we can continue to adhere to the things. There's a challenge. There's a challenge that we got. Even though we had a number of police officers, but we cannot be guarding everywhere. There's a protocol in place to follow. If you are not allowed to go through the containment area or to go through the border, at least just wait. Time will come. We will not be like this till the end of times. We will reach the time where all the borders will be lifted. So can we just have, I'm calling for patience and understanding of the situations that we are in.
You've got a developing situation as far as Nasino Police Barracks cluster is concerned. Of course, it definitely is putting strain on your resources and manpower at the moment. How are you coping with that?
Yeah, yeah. We have 7 positive cases at this point in time. Um, they are on home isolation. They stay in 2 of our police barracks. So we have contained that, and they are being guarded. They know themselves. The directive that has been given to them by the Ministry of Health for them to be on isolation and stay within their quarters. We are driving at our police officers. If we can maintain that 7, it's lucky that those that have been working with them are now turning negative during their shift. But they are also on self-isolation. If we maintain that, there might be an increase because of their household. But for police officers, those are the 7 that we are looking at. We are trying our best. We are trying our best to limit that to be at Nasinu police station only. The last thing is we would like to see this spreading to other police officers, because we don't want less police officers at the forefront, that positive cases are contained at the scene. They stay there, and then after the incubation period, it died down, and then we hope for the better. But that is our intention. Just let them stay there and then wait up until they are being cleared by Ministry of Health. The last thing that we do is that we totally lock down any police station, or 2 or 3. That's the worst case scenario that we have been planning to, but I don't want us to go that far. So we are trying to maintain that at the scene when it's being guarded well.
Let's talk about vaccination. Of course, you are in the front lines. Your officers all have come forward and taken the first dose and almost ready to be fully vaccinated in the next few days?
Yes, it was a directive that was given to all police officers, even though it is not mandated to them. But since we are a disciplinary organization, we need to be at the forefront because of the risk of us doing a job. The first jab was really good. The turnout, we almost have 100% vaccination. The second round is coming up in mid-June. So we hope that by the end of June, all of us have received our second jab. It is important for us to have our jabs, given that we are in the front line. I've been telling the police officers, the jab, as stated by the Ministry of Health, will not totally guarantee you of immune, but at least we are there. 70 to 80% is far better than none immune that is given to you. We cannot afford to have somebody that is not injected with a heavy jab being posted in the front line, because the risk is there for us. So far so good. I'm thankful to the police officers who are adhering to the guidance that is given, that we all have our jobs, and I'm very grateful to them. The support that was given, you've noted in the first round, there is a crowd of people, police officers, turning up to the various locations that we have identified. And we hope that during the second round of jab, we'll come back and then we complete the cycle of the jabs that is being given, the vaccination.
How will you deal with officers that still do not take the 2 jabs?
Yeah, that is something that we are working with our psychologists. They've been going around doing counseling, explaining to them. I haven't so far received any report. So having said that, our psychologist is moving around just to talk to the people on how we could. I know that there is a lot of talks being around and people giving their views. But for us in the organization, I've been encouraging that. Given the need for us to have vaccinated. You know that that people are saying that don't need vaccination. You just have to pray. pray and then you get the immune. But that's another story.
My final question is in relation to mental health, and you have touched on this issue as well. One is the mental health of the officers. You have served in the force for a number of years and continue to serve now as the leader of the organization. What are you going through at the moment, which is because COVID-19 is affecting everyone. It's not sparing anyone, including those who lead organizations and have to make the tough decisions and have to go home to their families who also would need support and guidance. How are you coping personally?
To me, I'm thankful that the understanding is there in the family and everything. I've gone through this. There's a lot of things that I've gone through in life. The understanding is there. This is the challenge that our psychologists is newly. We just recruited one lately, just for the purpose of we know that our police officers are overstressed. Sometimes it's affect their decision, mental state of it, welfare of the men with them, and they look after the other side of it, their family well. That will part of majority of the battle is fought in that the welfare side of it. Once they are looked after well from the workplace, and then when they go home, it's another factor, another battleground at home. That's theirs to manage. But from the organization point of view, we have our force chaplain. Who is there every now and then doing spiritual counseling, going every now and then. You'll see them that I go with our force chaplain, doing the lotu at our various checkpoints and all these areas. Try to get that the spiritual side of it, because it's really I tell you, it's a challenge. The physical side of somebody, the inner being, and we are closely monitoring our sick. We normally call sick Paul, our sick police officers, the rate in which we are going, and also the ill discipline. Because if somebody's go out and started drinking, given the tight situations that we are in, so I normally transfer that to our psychologist and our talatala, just to go and talk to them. I can admit that these are some of the things that are happening now within the organization. We have different coping ability, individual. Some can cope and go through such a situation, but some cannot have that. And there are different families that we have. Some of our wives can be very demanding at times like this. So there's a need for understanding, in all areas, in order for a police officer to come and produce what is required out of him. I can say that this is a challenge at this point in time. We are not seeing any worse cases coming up that might lead for our police officers to be taken and then checked at the hospital or something like that. They are well, but you can just see some of the things that in terms of discipline, in terms of the sick leave that is coming up. We are monitoring closely every now and then. Those that are sick, if they are repeatedly on sick, our leaders, our officers, they go out and just talk to them and find out what is happening. But we hope that they have the ability just to, and giving them rest. Rest cycle is the way for breathing space for them to get them in line. Because I normally tell the police officers, the tempo of our presence will continue to rise. Challenges after challenge. There is a lot of things that is coming, and the scope of work, and every now and then. So when you wear this uniform, you tune yourself. The police or the organization will not come and tune you. You need to start from yourself first. Once you are tuned in well, you can cope with the things that are coming in. But I can say that we are closely monitoring the mental state of our police officers so that they can cope with the situation. There's a lot of factors. There's a lot of factors. And what that I stated in one of my early statements, I thank the government that agreed to our reform and our restructure, our work condition. That is something that has boosted the morale of the organization. Our condition of work now is very lucrative at this point in time, and it's very good. I can vouch for that because I start Vijay with 2,002 to 3,000 a year. That is 1982, and the salary now. I wish our police officers back then they received those kind of salary because of the commitment at that time. But that is something that is pushing the organization forward. I see that there is a contributing factor to how police officers are working better now because of the working condition. But mental status, we are closely monitoring. There are trigger points that our psychologist is looking into it, and he's working very hard. He has been on the road every now and then he's giving us a report daily on what he's finding when he interviews our police officers.
Just connected to your response, maybe you've never shared this before. When you leave home on a daily basis, what are some of the motivating factors for you that drives you to ensure that you and the force perform to the best of its ability?
Yeah, Vijay, to me, Lord Almighty is the answer to everything. I confess and I know, and it is my strength for the years that I've gone through. Without a prayer in the morning, without reading a Bible, I can feel it. I can feel it when I come out if I rush to job without saying a prayer or reading the Bible, I can feel it myself. That is the cornerstone of how I lead this organization. I know that all human powers are limited. Everything is limited as human beings. We can think of strategies and everything in this organization, but without the support of Lord Almighty, I think I cannot achieve anything. That is the backbone, and that is something that I would like to confess when I am here at the pinnacle of the head of this organization. I look back and I look forward. The answer to any strong leadership is the presence of Almighty. That is, I strongly believe in that. And I know that it has taken me across, and it will continue to take this organization forward. And now Talatala plays that very important role in this organization. That is what I would like to say. Even though I got a master's degree, even though I got 38 years of experience, I still believe that without God, we cannot take organization forward or anything that we lead forward to be successful. You still need the intervention of God Almighty in everything that we do.
Acting Commissioner, thank you very much for speaking very candidly in relation to what is going on in the police force during these trying and challenging times. As the head of the organization, no doubt, there's definitely a lot of challenges on a daily basis that you're dealing with, not only with COVID-19, but providing safety and security to all the people of Fiji, with several other issues at play at the same time. Thank you again on behalf of our listeners and viewers, and we definitely hope to see you soon on Straight Talk again.
Vijay, thank you.
In the morning, angels watching over me, my Lord.